Let me bang. I do let you bang. Hey, let me bang you, James, man. I let you bang. I let you bang. Greetings, nerds and virgins.
Go for Jesus. No forget Jesus, people.
Hey, I'm not surprised, motherfuckers.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time once again for your favorite mixed martial arts podcast. Recording out of Los Angeles, California, it's MMA Roasted with Adam Hunter.
Who the fuck is that guy?
Welcome to MMA Roasted Podcast. We got Don on video. This is amazing. You can see the man, the myth, the legend. I know McCorkle's joining us. He was really sick last week. He had to go to the emergency room, something. I don't know what he had. I think but he was really, really sick. And but we're back. The gang is back together.
Ovulating, heavy ovulation, huh?
Don, you'd be the best doctor. People would come in and be like, I have cancer. You'd be like, shut up, you pussy. When I was a kid, I had cancer.
You just have penis envy. Get the fuck out of my office.
Throw some testicles. But meanwhile, so I had a crazy week. So I told you my wife had COVID. She had 105, 106. So I was taking care of her all week. And then my daughter got sick. So I was home just like getting bossed around with my wife. I mean, I was taking care of her and then taking care of my daughter. So it's just been finally she's like better now. But I honestly think there's like a new strain going around because she's vaccinated, blah, blah, blah. I mean, 106 was like, that's high,
Yeah, that's dangerous. That's dangerously high. That's bad news.
So that was crazy. And we're doing this thing now where I'm trying to fix up my garage, right? Because I want to turn my garage into like a workout room. We have all this stuff that my dad gave us when he moved to New York. And he convinced me it was thousands of dollars, right? I can't get $19 for this shit, like some of it, right? But people are the worst. If you go on OfferUp or Craigslist, everyone's like, oh, I'll buy it. I'll come over tomorrow at 10. 99% of them don't show up. Like, they just
don't show up.
Like I'm canceling my whole, I'm sitting here waiting for you guys, readjust, and then they don't get back to you. So, and then some people go, hey, I'm selling like kids' toys, like Elmo dolls, and there's a Baby Shark. Someone's like, can I come over and test them out? I'm like, yeah, why don't we set up a crib for you and a fucking bottle? Like,
dude, I think it's some weird fetish thing because we've gone through this too, trying to sell some stuff. And let me tell you something. I think it's some weird thing where people like to just waste other people's time because they will straight up be like, I'll be there at 10 and then just not show up at all and then not return any messages and they're like, just got another one.
Or they want to
fuck all you people.
Dude, so we have this baby high chair. It lists at $300, right? So I'm like, all right, $125. Someone's like, could we do 120? Fine, right? The lady comes over. Does it fold? I send her the thing in Target. It's telling you exactly what it does. Like, here's the exact chair. Tells you what it does. This woman shows up. She's got 6 kids in her car, right? She can't fit it in her car. I'm like, why did you come? She goes, oh, I can't fit it. So now, and the kids are all staring at me like, give us the high chair. So I'm almost like gonna be like, now I'm like breaking my heart, but I'm like, you knew. And then we have this little kitten that runs out outside. The kitten runs out. My daughter walks up crying. Mommy hurt herself. She's in the garage. A painting fell on her head while she was in there because I put the painting up wrong. And then so she's bleeding. And then I come back here with the chair I didn't sell. It's a jungle out there, man. So people are they're wasting everyone's time. They really are. They're wasting people's time. Yeah, so that's what I've been doing.
That's called the Biden syndrome.
Oh, is that right? How's this? I love that everything bad is definitely Biden's fault. So how is this also Biden's fault? Go ahead.
Well, he's wasting 4 years of our time.
Well, that's true. I'll give you.
Adam just said it. Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank
you. The other day, like my wife was yelling at me like about something like I didn't don't know what I did. The bottles weren't put in right or something happened. And the whole point, I'm thinking, like, I used to bang porn star. What was my life? So I'm like in my car. My daughter right away, Daddy, let's play opposite day. I'm like, okay, I'm in a happy marriage. She's like, what? So like,
you better watch your ass, man.
No, I actually am in a happy marriage. These are just jokes, people.
You're in big trouble now, boy.
Don't post in the comments and that I'm not in a happy marriage, please. All right. So anyway, I was watching this Bobby Brown thing on yesterday. You watched this Bobby Brown?
You look really happy.
So on A&E is now the hip hop channel, right? A&E. So they have a Bobby Brown about how much. Don, I think I need more echo on your computer. So they have this thing on Bobby Brown, how talking about how much money he had back in the 80s, where he would drive around. We saw someone's car. He would offer them money for the car on the spot, like 50 grand, 60 grand. Buy the person's car, drive around that day, and leave the car in the city. That's how much money he had, right? And he's like, I wish I had that money back now. Right? But he talked about being in Japan, and he's like, yeah, man, I was there with Mike Tyson. And great, he's fighting with his dog right now. I could tell. I could hear that fucking thing, right?
You know, the dog's the fifth member of this show.
No, I'm not. No. He's right there.
I hear the grrr.
There he is. Yeah, buddy.
That's me.
Looks just like fucking him. I can't tell who's the dog, to be honest. So, no, the dog knows how to use the Wi-Fi. So, but it looks just like Don. It literally looks just like, I'm surprised he doesn't have a mustache. A dog needs a mustache, and that is Don Frye right there.
I feel like Don Frye grew out the beard to look more like the dog.
I don't think Don even knows this is a podcast. I think we just call him every day for an hour.
Once a week, we just check in.
So Bobby Brown was saying how him and Mike Tyson banged 24. He was at least 24 Japanese girls in Japan the night before Tyson lost his Buster Douglas. And they said they were on drugs. And Bobby Brown said to Tyson, hey, man, maybe you should try to get some sleep. And then he goes, you got some sleep all night. All right. Like during the fight, right? He's like, don't put that. But I mean, could you imagine being Mike Tyson, fucking 24 Japanese girls with Bobby Brown the night before you fought Buster Douglas? I mean, how insane is that?
I don't think you have to imagine. I'm pretty sure there's very similar videos available online. I think you can just watch a simulation right now, just diggity dink dink, and up it comes.
And that's why he lost the title.
That is, you know what? And it's funny because the way that he lost it, he looked like shit. He looked like he was tired. And you would hear stories about some athletes doing stuff like that. Sometimes they would, like football players would send hookers to the opposing teammates, rooms and stuff. So you kind of, when you saw it, you're like, there had to be something like that behind that loss. And now you know what it is. I 100% believe that story.
He still almost won, though. That's the thing. He still almost won that fight. He still knocked him down, I think, in the 8th, right? It was like a weird slow count. Remember the Tyson Buster Douglas fight, Sean? Are you pissing right now? Like, I feel like I'm getting a blowjob POV fucking scene from you, right? What the hell is going on?
I phoned it going to the mic stand. Yes, I do remember that. And I think in Tyson's special, he did a 13 count to prove that he by far won that fight. I think he counted out live 13. He may have won a little bit fast. I was surprised Tyson could count to 13 at the time. I think he.
I was watching the Bobby Brown special on A&E, and they interviewed him about his whole life. And he talked about the night before Tyson fought Douglas. They had 24 Japanese girls. They had banged. And then Bobby Brown was like, Tyson, man, you need to get some sleep. Like when Bobby Brown's telling you got to stop partying.
Yeah.
You got to stop.
I have that effect on people when I go, guys, I think maybe I'm going to call it. They're like, oh my God, maybe we should stop, guys.
I went to a Bobby Brown concert one time a couple years ago, which shows kind of where I'm at in my life. But I went to Bobby Brown. And as I go in there, it was him and Keith Sweat. The first thing Bobby Brown comes out and says, well, I want to thank Keith Sweat for taking my rehearsal time up. So if I sound like shit tonight, it's his fault. And I was like, I don't think it's Keith Sweat's fault that Bobby Brown sounds like shit. Like his voice is sounds like he's been taking shots of shards of glass with Don Frye. Now, like he used to have, the falsetto or
Wow.
when Bobby Brown.
We can't all sound like a 12-year-old schoolgirl,
Brendan Schaub. But
It's so funny, by the way, when like headliners fight each other. Like, there's a clip that's going around right now of Monique. You know Monique, the black comedian, female.
Yeah.
So
I don't know what color she is, but yes.
So her and D.L. Hewley were both told they were headlining a show, and Monique went first, and she went on for 20 minutes, making fun, going off on D.L. Hewley, going off, and then there was an intermission, and then D.L. came back on. And he did the 1 minute on Monique of like, man, I guess Precious was a documentary. And then he said like one more thing of just like getting her pretty good. But yeah, it was crazy.
What color is D.L. Hewley again?
He's black as well.
Okay.
That's when you need somebody like, Chappelle to show up and remind them that neither one of them is particularly relevant anymore. So they're really fighting over nothing. I mean, they're both great comics. But I mean, come on, what are you fighting over? It's a co-headliner show. I'm sure it didn't affect your pay. Just enjoy. What different? I hate it when they think it makes a difference. I would rather go first. Like if you and I, Adam, are on the same show, I would rather go first. I don't want to have to follow you. Like I don't mind going first at all.
And make the person work. Like,
yeah, exactly. Like, I don't see why it's an insult, and that makes no sense. That's pure silliness right there.
Yeah, I mean, so now people are like discussing what happened on like Twitter. They're going off like who was right, who was wrong. But like DL said, like basically like Monique, she doesn't like Oprah. She got mad at Netflix. She got mad at Steve Harvey. She got mad at this one. Like maybe it's you. But she also, but it's pretty funny. She runs at the end. She like ran off the stage, like ran. And it was like probably the funniest
visual.
Oh, I'm trying to find it because it's fucking hilarious. So I don't know.
That's crazy. But it sounds like there's some beef to that. That sounds like something that is not a new animosity between them, because otherwise that seems highly unwarranted. But I know if anybody, there's some shows, I'll admit there's some shows where they ask me to go first before someone that clearly I felt should have been following me or should have been going in front of me. But I was like, no, I don't think so. Man, we can't.
Hold on.
Well, that definitely sounds like there was some earlier animosities there.
But look at the run.
Well, she needed to get her steps in.
Wow.
Was that Jerome Bettis leaving the stage? What is going on? That was. Oh my God.
That was not. Yeah, that wasn't. She definitely more power than speed in that stride. I think, and I'm pretty sure that's what you were saying there, McCorkle. I'm pretty sure. So that's what we'll go with.
So Sean, you what happened? You almost died last week?
Yeah, it's normal for me, man. No, I was really, really sick, man. And Don can probably understand this, or I don't know, anybody that's ever been on a pain management contract. If you go to the ER, a little game they like to say is, well, what would you like us to do for you? Like, that's what they always say. It doesn't matter how sick you are. It doesn't matter what it is.
To see if you're fishing for painkillers.
Right, is what it is. So, like, I was deathly ill, man. I mean, just sick as could possibly be. And I knew I need to go to the ER, but I knew that's what they were going to say. Like, immediately, well, what you're under pain management. There's nothing we can do for you. We're not going to give you an IV with painkillers. And then, like, normally I've gone a couple other times, and both times they accuse me of looking for pain pills. And so I will bring them with me. Like, I'll bring my pain pills with me and be like, hey, I have them right here. The problem is, if I take the amount that's going to help me, then I'm going to run out, or whatever, like, because I'm like really, really sick. So it doesn't really matter, because they're like, well, if you're in pain, why don't you take your painkillers? You're like, you know what, like, dude, you can't win. Like, no matter what, like, why am I not taking my pain pills? Why am I at the ER? So it's, they always go through the whole, I went with an infection one time to the ER. Like I literally, actually, to be honest with you, I'd taken some HGH, and my body apparently had a bad reaction to it. I got like the injection site got infected real bad, and I started holding over a period of 3 or 4 days. I held like 30 pounds of water. Like I started swelling, and it was like definitely a bad infection of some kind. So I go there, and then I get the drug addict speech while I'm there that they're not going to give me pain medicine. They're not this and that. And I said, hey, I'm really just kind of worried about this infection and the fact that I weigh 30 pounds more than I did 72 hours ago, and I haven't peed in 3 days, and I just keep drinking water and just, or whatever, but it was some kind of weird infection. But yeah, then they send me a guy, at the end of my 3-day stay, they send in an Indian doctor who tells me I need to have a sleep study done. And I was like, okay. He goes, because the way your jaw is shaped, you might have sleep apnea. And I was like, okay, well, that's not why I gained 30 pounds of water weight. I have an infection. And they were like, well, that's what you need to do. And we're going to go ahead and release you, get your sleep study done, and then call us back or whatever. So that's like the kind of care I left with. So the infection, thank God, cleared itself up apparently with no help from the doctors, no antibiotics, no anything.
And this is all last week?
No, this is just before. That's what happened to me before. So that's why I don't go to the ER. It doesn't matter how sick I get. Like, man, when I'm sick, like if I'm thinking about going to the ER, I got to be really, really sick. Like I've only been, I think, aside from fights, I've only been to the ER, I think, twice in my life. You know what I mean? Like for being sick, like I don't know what it was. I was really, really sick, man. And but I knew if I went, that's the first thing I would hear. You know what I mean? Is we're not giving you pain medicine.
Got COVID last week?
I don't think so, man. It was really strange. It was like I do know that the scary part was that I got kind of delirious at one point, and I walked downstairs without my pants off. And I had people here working, or without my pants off. I meant without pants on. I had people here working on my house doing some contractors. I walked down there with no pants, no underwear, and I'm chewing blood pressure medicine, like 7 or 8 pills. And
like your dick's out or your underwear's on?
Yeah, just put a t-shirt on, like walk down there. And my girlfriend's like, what are you doing? Why is your dick so huge? No, she wasn't like that. But she was like, what are you doing? And I said, I got to take Advil. And I was like taking handfuls of blood pressure medicine, chewing them. And then also chewing the
Don, why are you laughing? Every time you say that, like, you're 30 pounds overweight or your dick was out and this and that, Don smiles.
I'm sure Don's got a comment along the way. Or maybe Don's been there when
I'm sure she asked why is your dick out? And he said, well, don't you see all the guys here working?
Well, there are 4 Mexicans. He walked downstairs like, look, guys, I want to be paid. It's up to you.
You got a lot of,
I can give you cash. I can give you this dick. That's what that sounds like.
Was it Mexican workers? You have Mexican workers?
Yeah, they were Mexican guys.
So they were in your house working, and you come and now here comes the 6'7" guy with his dick out. Did they? Right. What did they do?
They just pretended like it wasn't happening. Like they kind of just just kept working, pretend like it wasn't going on. But then my girlfriend told me to spit the pills out, and I spit out the little.
Them to.
I couldn't hear a word of that, but I'm sure it was phenomenal.
I believe. What'd you say, Don?
Said they lined up like he wanted them to.
But no, so I start. My girlfriend tells me to spit out the pills. I start spitting out blood pressure pills that I thought were Advil because I guess I was completely out of my mind. I don't remember any of this. And then I started washing the dishes. She kept saying what are you doing? She got to say, I got to wash these dishes. I started washing. Then I passed out, fell and hit the ground or something. Luckily, my dick was used as a kickstand to hold me up for a minute.
So now did you hit your head?
No, but if I did, I'd be more worried about my head hit than my own head. That would be but no, I guess I kind of caught myself on the way down, but I was lying there, and then I kept telling her, don't call an ambulance because I didn't want to. I was very in my state of whatever I had. Apparently I was, I kept telling her, I'm not going to listen to the drug addict speech. I'm not going to listen to it. When I go there, that's the first thing they're going to say. Is that you're either looking for pills or how many of your pills did you take or what did you mix it with or this or that, there would always, they always have something.
Now, did you have a fever? Did you have a fever?
No, I just didn't feel, I almost never run a fever when I get sick though.
You were hallucinating. You were obviously sick. You had some kind of fucking shit. You thought you were taking Advil. You weren't taking Advil. You were taking what?
It was blood pressure medicine that I prescribe blood pressure medicine, have been for about 25 years, but apparently I put 7 or 8 of them in my mouth and started chewing them up. So, which you don't chew blood pressure medicine. That could have killed me alone. But yeah, I probably should have went to the hospital, but I wasn't in the mood to hear it, man. Like I just, man, that's
so with everything
so boring.
that
Adam walked out like this.
Totally. Adam walked out on your story.
My little daughter told me that Sophia turned off on the Netflix. So I got to turn it back on. Keep talking.
All right.
Let me ask you. So you go to the. Did you go to the hospital or did you not?
No, I never went. No, I just refused. Yeah, I didn't go. I was like, I'd already been through so much torture. I told her that the only thing that would bring me out of it was turning on Brendan Schaub's new comedy special. And so she put that up, and I after sitting there for 10 minutes watching it, I jumped up. Didn't feel better because I was then vomiting. But no, it's
honestly, there's got to be one good doctor that you trust. I mean, you obviously in some fucking terrible situation. You passed out, your dick was out, you're taking blood thinners that you think are Advil, you're completely fucked up, and you still won't. I mean, people study medicine, they're doctors for a reason. You don't trust any doctor.
They're stupid.
Dude, any doctor I've been to, literally, I went to get an MRI order one time when I didn't have insurance. I went to pay cash for an MRI order, and I got a speech for about 30 minutes about drug addiction. And I was like, I finally told the guy, I was like, I don't know why you're telling me this. I'm here to get an MRI order.
But your girlfriend can't come with you. Your girlfriend can't come with you and say, listen, he's not a drug addict. I'm with him all the time. He just needs.
Well, I assume most drug addicts are also liars. So it's not a for sure thing, but it's I probably would have went when it would have been fine. But like I said, I've only been to the ER, I think 2 or 3 times other than fights. And as soon as they see pain management on your thing, the first thing they say is, what do you want us to do for you? That's the first thing I told you.
Will you please explain to Sean that he needs to actually see a doctor next time this happens?
Yeah.
Who am I to give medical advice? I had a heart attack 2 months ago. Go fuck yourself.
I know you guys know Stephen Bonner went to the ER in California with a broken vertebrae in his back. And he had MRSA, like an infection. And he almost got arrested because they told him he was on pain management. They weren't going to admit him to the hospital. He was just looking for pain pills. So
he was also, acting a little bit out there.
Well, that'll happen when you break your vertebrae and no one will admit you to a hospital.
I hear you, and I'm not defending the doctor.
When you're in pain.
Yeah. Don? Okay, all right.
You're in pain, you act fucking crazy.
That's true. But Sean, I just worry that you're one of those guys that could have been a situation like a Bob Marley or who refuses to go to get medication and that, maybe could have actually been cured or whatever. So
I probably could have died. I don't know, but I'm going to get insurance, man. I'm just actually, I'm either just going to pay the $2,000 a month for really good health insurance, or I've been trying to get on my girlfriend's or my fiance's insurance because she works for a government defense contractor. They have really good insurance. And apparently I can't get on her insurance because I'm a heterosexual couple. Like apparently if we were gay and not married, I could get on there. Or if I identified as being married or something, I don't know. But I'm trying to get on her insurance because she has phenomenal insurance. But I would like to be able to go because I got stuck somehow on Medicaid, man, which I don't know if you know what that is, but that's what poor people use. Yeah. So when they try to force you on when they try to force us to get insurance or they were going to start fining me, I was like, okay, I'll put in my insurance on the Obamacare website. And I was like, I'm not paying the fine. And all of a sudden I had Medicaid because I got turned down by 4 providers because I was a professional fighter, which means the state had to cover me. But that also is red flags that you're white trash, which I am, but that doesn't mean I'm a drug addict. But when they see Medicaid and you're on pain management, they automatically think, you know what I mean? You're
I know. There's a lot of problems, man. And I honestly, I don't think you're gonna fix the system at all. I just think next time that you're in a situation where you're passing out and downing pills and your dick's out, go to the doctor. Right. Let's go to the doctor.
I at least might put some pants on next time if I'm gonna go downstairs. But no,
to me, that's the one thing you did right. So
I told her that she probably should have called an ambulance. She said, you kept telling me that you were going to punch him in the face if they tried to show up here and blah, blah, blah. I was kind of out of it. But I was sick for about 2 days, man. Pretty rough. It was
well, I've seen your striking and I've seen it and they're safe. So it's okay based on your striking. Now, all right, let's talk about.
I'd have got knocked out by one of the EMTs.
All right, so let's talk about some more. So TJ Dillashaw and Dominic Cruz are in a fight right now because they don't know who gets the next title shot against Aljamain. Personally, I think it should be Cruz because Dillashaw, when took EPO, I understand he paid his thing, but I don't even think he even won that fight, his last fight against Sandhagen. I thought Sandhagen won that fight. And Dominic Cruz, his last fight, he got like knocked out almost and came back and won, which was pretty amazing. So anyway, Dillashaw did an interview and he said that Dominic sounds like a salty cunt, to be honest. I just think he's obviously jealous of me being able to stay at the top, lay off and how long I've been. And did I lose money? Right. I did, not fighting for 2 years. He goes, blah, blah, blah. He goes, he's got a terrible personality and he called him a salty cunt. Wasn't ever seen an unsalty cunt?
It sounds to me like Dominic Cruz is probably jealous of some guy that TJ Dillashaw is dating. That would be my guess. That's why Cruz is mad.
All right. Well, that's.
I was waiting for that one. Well, I mean, I don't understand. I'm looking at the rankings right now, and I mean, Dillashaw's 2 and Cruz is 8.
Oh, is it?
I don't see where there's much of an argument for Cruz just based on the rankings.
Yeah.
I mean, you got
Cruz can't do
Rob Font, Marlon Vera, Corey Joe. I mean, if they want to go old school, they can go with Aldo. He's ranked 3rd. I mean,
right.
So, I mean, there seems, I don't know where Dominic Cruz has got much of an argument that he deserves the next shot here.
Something I did see the other day. I saw Chael Sonnen say the other day that Dominic Cruz has only lost 5 fights ever, and that didn't sound right to me. I looked it up. Dominic Cruz has only lost 3 fights ever, which blew my mind. I thought he was on a downslide or something of his career. Like, I thought he was losing a bunch of fights, but I guess he lost to Faber once back in the day. And then he obviously lost to Cody Garbrandt and then lost to
Henry.
Oh my God. Yeah, Henry. But that's all he's ever lost. That's crazy to me that he's only lost 3 fights.
And the Henry fight was kind of controversial, the stoppage. I mean, especially based on the last fight.
But didn't he have like a long ass layoff in there in the middle?
Yeah, he had like
I think several.
5 years, right? Like, well, yeah. So I mean,
getting hurt.
Yeah. I bet if he fought for those 5 years, he might have 2 more losses on his record.
He was undefeated at one point for 5 years.
That's like in poker when guys sit out for like an hour and then come back and they're like, "Oh, I'm in 3rd." I'm like, "Yeah, because you didn't fucking play, you jackass." Fuck that. I hate that when they're like, "I only lost. You didn't fight. Of course you didn't lose because you didn't fucking fight."
So according to sportsmanner.com, Sean Strickland has been kicked off Twitter. Which you got to do a lot to me. But this is what he said. He goes, "I'm actually a fan of Pride Month, not Don Frye Pride, like Gay Pride Month." He goes, big fan of the B in LGBT LMAO. But you shouldn't laugh at your own jokes. That's annoying, right? Like he goes, "But trans people, though God, I can't fucking stand trans people. Has to be some sort of mental retardation." All right, that was his first tweet. Then he writes, "If you have a cock and balls, even if you remove them, you'll never be a fucking woman. Bottom line, I don't give a fuck if you grow your hair out and cut your fucking cock off. You'll always be a nutless, mentally ill man. Bottom line." I guess he's not trying to.
Well, that, clearly the question is, what did he do? I mean, come on. Geez, that's pretty easily definable by their little guidelines of what you can't do, man.
But what is he doing? This guy's a fighter. Like, how many trans people is he actually meeting throughout? Like, what? Like, why is he so angry? This guy. Like, I mean, he's like fucking. Like, do you think he's just trying to be shocking? Is this what?
I think when Don heard that, Don Frye said he thought he was trying to kill him with kindness. But, Don's like, I thought he went easy on him.
Inside.
Like, what is, I don't understand what his end goal is. He's like number 2 or something, right? He's got like one fight away from the title shot. One fight, and he's got a tough fight.
Not anymore. Yeah, I guarantee you, not anymore.
You think so?
I did get kicked off Twitter myself. I get reminders every day that like I get a notification let me know I'm permanently banned from Twitter, which is strange that they would send me a notification just to let me know that I'm permanently banned. So
why did you get banned?
Well, I mean, there was a lot of reasons, but the first one was mad because my tagline was, "I don't tolerate racism of any kind. Racism is a crime and crime is for minorities," which is a great joke.
It was a joke. That's a joke.
So Yeah, that was my tagline, and they asked me to remove it, and I refused. They said they would verify me if I remove it, and I was like, I'm not removing it. And so then at some point they suspended me or something. So then I put "I'm politically correct at all times" as my tagline, and then someone from there said it was obviously sarcastic, like I wasn't being sincere when I said it. And I was like, now you're reading into my motives, which I mean they were right, but it's like you can't win. But I got permanently banned by taking racist things said about white people by black people on Twitter and then quoting it and then changing the words white and black and then posting it myself, like under quoting what they said to prove that like I can't say the same thing they could say. And then that's why I got suspended. So like you would have when there was a mass shooting, there was some lady, it was like, it's always a white man. Every single time it's a white man. It's disgusting. And so then when the black guy shot a bunch of people up, I put, it's always a black man every single time, and then I quoted her thing about saying it was a white man underneath it, like showed who said it, but then they suspended me, but not her. So,
all right, who are you
but to your credit, you did prove that you cannot say the things that other people are saying. Right. I mean, you said that was what you're trying to prove. Hey, mission accomplished.
I was right. Don, we do a podcast, and I always tag you on Twitter. Is it you? Who am I tagging? Are you even on Twitter?
No.
There's some 13-year-old going, fuck yeah, they tagged me again.
And then I'm also tag your Facebook, right, which has 25,000 people that follow you. Is that you?
I don't know. I have one of the producers on my show runs my Facebook, my Twitter, and the Instagram and all that. And
so it might
I don't
be
even know what's going
be.
on. I haven't seen it. Yeah, it could be me, right? Theoretically, yes.
What's up, people? Football might be over for the season, but basketball is in full steam for both pro and college hoops. From the latest odds, totals, player performance props, to where the next fired coach is going to land, BetOnline is the #1 spot for all your sports betting needs. Now head over to their website or use your mobile device to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Just use promo code CLNS50 to get started. It's not just basketball. BetOnline is your source for hockey, boxing, and UFC odds, right to the Olympic coverage. And it's the best in the business, okay? From sports right down to your favorite Vegas casino games, BetOnline is your #1 online wagering destination. BetOnline, the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports and play your favorite games. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Theoretically, it's Don Frye. That'd be a great name for your one-man show. Don Frye, theoretically.
That would be a great Twitter handle, theoretically Don Frye.
Yeah, theoretically Don Frye. That'd be great. You just
somebody just took it.
I may create that just so I could be Don Frye. Theoretically, I'm Don Frye on Twitter.
So, Patty,
get after it because I bet somebody's already buying it right now.
Totally. By the time 5 minutes after this is published, it'll be gone.
So you guys know that guy that like twerks in the octagon? That guy who
Bruce Buffer?
No.
I think he goes by like the Monkey King or something.
Or Monkey God? Is it
Monkey God?
I think it's Monkey God.
Yeah, Monkey God.
Where's he from?
That isn't even a slightly veiled question.
He's from Las Vegas. He's a really good fighter. He's a really good fighter.
How's his twerking?
Let me see if I can find it. And so he's fighting Patty the Batty. His next fight.
Right.
So that should be a good fight. The monkey is it? The monkey
Patty can make weight. Yeah.
Yeah, Patty's gonna lose 55 pounds. But this guy is allegedly straight. I think he's married with kids. But these are some of the stuff he does in like the octagon after his fights. You see him?
That is awfully fancy.
So he did that. That's the Dirty Dancing lift. Is that what they're doing there?
Oh gosh, that's terrible.
But
that's very similar to the picture. Someone sent me a picture of Bruce Buffer doing the splits with his legs around Jean-Claude Van Damme the other day, and I got to tell you, that was.
So Don, this is what he does in the octagon.
That was disturbing. Yeah.
Don, this is what he does in the octagon.
You gotta line that up with your camera better. There we go. Thank you.
Yeah.
I don't need to see it again.
Now, what would have happened, Don, if somebody like in Pride would have done this back in the day?
They'd have got beat to death by everybody in the locker room.
So these two guys are fighting. Hold on.
I think you need to put him against Sean Strickland.
So the one guy's twerking and the other guy's doing this.
Oh my gosh. I don't know what would have happened in Pride back in the day, but if that would have happened back in the day in the UFC, Bruce Buffer would have asked him out.
All right. That was
dude, that's going to be a pay per not view. Like, I will pay for them to cut the broadcast before either one of them starts dancing.
I'm excited. This is going to be the funniest fight in the history of fighting. I think.
Well, of course, because it's going to be a dance battle. This isn't even going to be a real fight.
I'll tell you what, when it happens,
It's dirty dancing.
All I'm going to be watching is Bruce Buffer and Dominic Cruz's reaction. That's all I want to see. When one of them wins and dances, I'm going to be looking directly at that Dominic Cruz or Buffer, whoever they're showing.
Okay. By the way, Sean, how's your thing coming? Your reaction video coming?
Dude, man, honestly, I've started working on it, and then Brendan Schaub is suing everybody. Like, he's suing anyone who makes fun of him on Twitter, or not on Twitter, on Facebook or like YouTube or anything. And as funny as that would be right now, like, I don't know if I want to pay legal bills to defend something.
Do you think, you think that's what got you sick? Was you watching it?
No, that's what I told while you left. I said that's what brought me out of it. Like, I couldn't get out of bed, and then my girlfriend put that on, and I was like, listen, I got to go in the other room and throw up. So it got me up and moving again. So
I'm going to take my pants and underwear off.
That explains why I was not wearing my pants.
Schaub's new special is the smelling salts of comedy.
So Jorge Masvidal, I guess, is trying to get a fight with Conor McGregor, which I think is a great fight, actually. It makes a lot of sense.
Right.
So he's defending what he did to Colby Covington. He goes, he's saying that, look, I'm not going to let anyone disrespect my family. I can't talk much because I'm being charged with 3 felonies. I can only say that I'm innocent, right? That was what he said about him attacking.
Right.
And then against what he said about Conor.
That's exactly what the film shows. There's innocence.
Against Conor, he says he knows that I'm a man who hits hard. I come to kill. I do not come to play hug in the cage. I'm going to give everything inside me to kill him. And I have a little size, although he's injecting steroids and all kinds of things, but he's still a little boy, right? And then Conor heard that, and he deleted his tweet, but he goes, an absolute pigeon brain this guy is. Stupid beyond belief. So I don't know why pigeon brain makes me laugh. I can hear him saying it too.
Listen, I don't know how you can call him stupid. The guy's got legal bills, and he's going for it's the only $30 million fight he's going to make. So, when you got some legal bills, that makes sense.
I don't know who I'm rooting for in this fight, to be honest. They're both.
I think you got to go Masvidal. I'm surprised, man. Honestly, if I were Conor McGregor, and I'm obviously not, but if I were, I don't know why he doesn't go down 45 again and beat the champ down to 145, challenge him, because I think he would smoke that guy at 145.
He can't make 45. His fucking biceps 40. See how big he got?
Well, he could get off the juice and go back down pretty quick, I think, if he would get back unswelled. But moving up to 170 makes no sense for McGregor. Can't beat the bigger guys, man. He needs to be fighting the smaller guys like to win. I don't get it.
Well, who do you think wins, him or Masvidal?
Oh, Masvidal easily, man.
Really?
Easily. Yeah, you saw what Masvidal did to Nate Diaz, man. That wasn't even close, So.
The second time. They were both close.
Huh?
Masvidal.
No, Masvidal.
Right. Yeah, I don't know what happened to Don. Hopefully Don comes back. Who do you think wins that fight, Greg?
The audience. Because I think everybody would love to see Conor fight again. That's the thing, though. I hate to make this comparison, but Conor is kind of like Jake Paul. Yeah, of course, everyone's going to call you out because they want the paycheck, but you kind of need them to call you out.
Right.
You know, you can't go around going, I want to fight. Well, of course, everyone wants to fight you because you're going to make a fucking $30 million. They kind of got to call you out. Otherwise, it's kind of a waste of time, you know?
It's a great fight for Conor in a lot of ways because, first of all, Masvidal's wrestling isn't that great. I mean, we've seen that. And that's one thing about Conor is like his wrestling is not that great either. He's going to stand and trade with him. They're both villains. I mean, the two bad guys fighting each other. I mean, two fun bad guys. They're not even like bad guys like you just hate them. Like they're fun to hate, you know? And I think that it would just be one of those fights that, you know, I don't know, man. I don't know if Masvidal wins that fight. I would say 4 years ago, it's almost like beating Ben Askren was the worst thing for Masvidal. It was the best thing because it made him $1 billion, but he's not looked that great since then. Against Nate Diaz, he did look really good. But against Usman, he lost twice. Against Colby, he lost, 4 to 5 rounds? Whereas McGregor lost against Poirier twice, but and Khabib. Both of them need a win. Who do you think?
Dude, at 170, that's a really smart fight for Conor as far as money-wise or whatever. But I'm saying I think he's making a mistake moving up against bigger guys. I don't think Conor beats any of the top guys at 170. I think he's just too small.
Don Frye, who wins, Masvidal or Conor?
I'd go with Conor right now because of the size advantage. But he's got a size advantage against McCorkle right now.
That's only since Don saw me with my pants off that he talks like that, though.
Right now, there's all these little Mexican workers going, "We've seen the largest white penis you can ever see. It's so cute."
It was on the girl.
It was like a train on the tracks coming down.
By the way, McCorkle, you're obviously we're a basketball star. You know a lot about basketball. Not to change the subject, but I have been watching the playoffs a little bit. That shot that guy took, the 3-pointer he ended up losing. Was it Butler? His name is the guy on the the game. The Heat.
Jimmy Butler on the Heat.
Was that a good shot, you think?
I didn't see it. Like he took a 3-pointer, you're saying?
Yeah, dude.
I must have missed it.
He came back. They were losing by like 15 with 10 minutes left. And they came back and got it to like 2. They were down by 2. And there was like a minute left. And this one guy, Butler, was like carrying the whole team. And he pulled up for a 3 and missed it. And then Van Gundy and Barkley were arguing about whether it was a good shot or not. And Barkley was like, "Wait, man, this guy's been carrying the team. It was a good wide open 3, blah, blah." But he went for the win, not the tie. Greg, you're a basketball aficionado. You think that was a good shot?
It was the shot that he had, you know? I mean, he was running out of time. He had to make it, you know? And that was the thing is, if anything, if I remember correctly, which is a little fuzzy, to be honest, because I was in Vegas and it had been a long day at the pool. Yeah. So, you know, but if I remember correctly, I think they were running out of time and they didn't manage to get the ball inside for a 2. So he took the shot that he had. I don't know that he had a better opportunity. That was just where he was at and had to take a shot and he didn't drive and he was out of time and had to throw it up there.
He wasn't out of time though. He could have went for the 2.
So
he's allegedly Michael Jordan's son. Have you guys seen that?
What's who?
There's a lot of rumors that Jimmy Butler is Michael Jordan's son.
Really?
Literally. Like, I'm not joking. He literally is Michael Jordan. They say, I guess he was Michael Jordan back when Jimmy Butler was conceived, like around his, conception date. They were playing the Houston Rockets, and he's from Houston. And other than the fact that he looks just like him and plays basketball just like him, there's been rumors for years that Jimmy Butler's Michael Jordan's unrecognized son. So
he's got to have more than a few out there.
Yeah, I would think.
So a guy that you beat, by the way, won last week, Sean McCorkle. Pujanowski is still fighting. Did you see it?
I saw. Yeah, that guy fought pretty good too, man. Yeah. I think his name's Michael Maturla or something.
All right, hold on.
You put it to the side. We can't really see. There it is. Now we can see it. Oh boy, that guy's a monster. And who's that child he's fighting?
So Sean beat that guy. Almost beat him twice. He beat him the first time with the Kimura from the bottom. Almost won the second. That was the fight where you said this is a matter of whose steroids are going to be better.
Yeah, that's why I said it didn't matter with skill or anything like that. So his steroids better than mine because we know we were both running them. So the first fight, mine were better. The second fight, his dry humping was better the second fight, because I don't know that he landed a punch the second fight. He just grabbed on and held on to me and dry humped me for an entire he would only fight 2 rounds.
That's why
so
you tried not to escape.
Right. Yeah, I didn't try to get up. But it was 2 5-minute rounds, and then he would only fight 2-round fights, which was perfect
crazy.
for me.
They have 2 fights for this guy.
Yeah, like they only fight 2. So I won the second round, he won the first, but they still gave him the decision, which was odd. But then that's when I threatened to strangle Ariel Helwani, because he said that I quit between rounds 2 and 3 and wouldn't come off the stool, and was like making fun of that I quit after a 2-round fight. Like I wouldn't come out. It was just that the fight was over. So I texted Helwani right after and told him I was going to punch him in his face the next time I saw him. And then we ended up later on getting along, but that made me really mad, man, that they acted like I quit. But
they don't test over there. These guys, they don't test at all.
Apparently not.
And
he looked like he didn't look all natural. Let's just say that. They weren't selling slices of him at Whole Foods.
Well, he was the 6-time world's strongest man.
Just wear a t-shirt too.
So the other guy didn't have a t-shirt. That was that was advertising on his back. Like that was full advertising on the other guy. Like they sprayed him.
Yeah, like tattooed or something.
Yeah, tattooed.
You know what was funny is when I beat him the first time, he was the 6-time world's strongest man, legitimately, like in those contests on ESPN. He won the world's strongest man 6 times in a row. And so afterward, the fight, I declared myself the world's new strongest man, like because I beat the world's strongest man. And
totally.
So for our press conference for the second fight, I wore one of his shirts with his face on it. And they asked me why I was wearing like his shirt, and I said because sometimes walk around, I forget who the second strongest man in the world is, so I like to be able to look down at my shirt and remind myself. And he took it really personal. He got real mad about it. It was awesome, man. Like I was cracking up. But
what's that dude's name? What's his name?
Mariusz Pudzianowski.
Yes, I've seen actually. You know, now you say his name, I've actually seen him do those world's strongest man contests.
Yeah.
Tell you what, man,
those
MMA,
are pretty ridiculous.
Mixed martial arts has really put I don't even take any of those seriously. Not that I ever watched them, but you know that the guy would get his ass kicked in like 25 seconds by, Ryan Hall or something. So it really doesn't make those contests as big as they were. That was a good thing about mixed martial arts also, is all those action heroes from the 80s that you're like, oh, who'd win? Van Damme or Chuck Norris or this guy or that guy. Like Don Frye put an end to all of them.
Right. When we all know it was Terry Silver was the only legit fighter of all those guys. From
he was a real karate guy, by the way. He actually was a karate guy. Yeah, right. So
by the way, have you guys seen Van Damme's new movie on Netflix?
No, is it good?
Holy shit, no.
Man, it is a delicious turd burger. You really
I'm guessing he does the splits in it at some point, right?
It opens with the splits.
Of course.
And I'm like, and all I can think is like, thank God he was in a building with those pillars just far enough apart.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. And then he have him dancing, doing his fucking dancing. It's like, oh my God. It's so
Dude,
bad.
It sounds like Greg's described in the first 5 minutes of his podcast when Adam was playing that guy twerking. He was doing the splits and dancing.
Oh.
So, all right. Well, this week, by the way, a couple fights this week. We're going to talk about the fights coming up. It's a weird card. It's a pretty good card, though. It's one of those cards that's a sleeper card, not that great on paper. But then you're like, oh, shit, that's going to be a good fight, and this is going to be a good fight. By the way, John McCarthy said that Usman would get lit up by Nick Diaz. I don't think present-day Nick Diaz. I think back in the day Nick Diaz, maybe. Yeah, sure, why not? But now, I don't know. That's kind of strange. What do you think about that, John?
McCarthy makes some strange statements sometimes, man. I don't know. That's really weird. It's Usman has got to be close to as good a wrestler as GSP, and then prime Nick Diaz. You saw what happened with him in GSP. So, I don't.
No, he said just standing up, striking what?
Oh, straight standing up. Yeah, probably. Yeah, if they were doing just stand up. Yeah, Nick is good stand up, man. He really is.
Yeah, but not anymore. I mean, Robbie Lawler beat him standing recently.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know about now, but I mean, back in the day, yeah.
Yeah.
So.
It seems like there'd be a pretty huge strength differential, power differential between the two.
Well, just now. I mean, Nick Diaz back when he beat Paul Daly and was winning those kind of fights. That was, I think, the best version of Nick Diaz that we saw. But like anything else, I mean, he's got to be almost 40 or something, and he's just.
I think he's 38, 39, something like that.
Life catches up to you, and it just he also it seemed like he was partying for a while and yada yada. And I don't know how how smart those guys spar. It seems like they have kind of like back in the day, Lions Den or whatever.
Well, they were sparring with Andre Ward, him and Nate both for a while, so that's not a very good idea. Like to spar with one of the best fighters in the world, like boxers, just to spar with him. I don't know. But.
So this week we got Volkov, who's coming off a first round loss to Tom Aspinall, the guy from England who world beater. He's fighting Rozenstruik, who's coming off he lost to Curtis Blades. He kind of just got like held down by Curtis Blades, but still lost 30-27. So it's a main event, heavyweight, two guys coming off losses. Still should be a good fight. I'm picking Volkov. I think Rozenstruik is one of those guys that kind of like a Sokaju when he came out of nowhere and everyone's scared of his power, but then you kind of figure him out. And it seems like the blueprint on how to beat him is out there. Don Frye, who do you think wins this fight?
I'll go with the Russian too. Volkov. Yeah. I think he's tough enough. Yeah, I'll go with the commie. Yeah.
Like a true patriot.
I did a show last week and there was a Russian girl in the front. And she said something to me. I'm like, I'm not going to mess with you. You'll invade my space. And just everyone laughed.
Nice.
Yes. And then I texted Sean that joke and he goes, yeah. And I wouldn't marry you because you'll get lost in the mail. It's like,
yeah.
That joke's actually, I think your version is better. All right. Greg, who do we like in this fight?
This is a pick 'em because it's not like Volkov is a big wrestler. I mean, so whoever lands that big shot that puts the other one on his ass, this is a coin toss as far as I'm concerned.
And then Sean?
I think it'll be interesting, man, especially if he uses the same game plan as who'd you say he just fought?
Curtis Blades.
Oh yeah, Curtis Blades. It'll be interesting to see a white guy trying to hold a black man down for a change. So that'll be odd.
Great. This is like the commie is going to win. The white guy holding the black guy down. Like, what kind of picture these? All right. So,
how come the comics are the only ones that ever take any of the fight analysis parts serious?
Because we get canceled. These guys can't. What are you going to cancel?
You can't cancel these guys. So they can go out and say, we're trying to protect our careers over here.
What are you going to take away Sean's fucking dog? All right. Yeah. So anyway,
he's already banned from Twitter. Who cares?
He literally can't leave his house.
His life's over. Yes.
Yeah. All right. So Evloev, Mavsar Evloev. I'm sure I'm pronouncing it right.
He blows who?
Taking on Dan Ige. So he blows you. Dan Ige is a guy from Hawaii. He seems to kind of struggle in like the big fights. I'm writing my comedy show. He said he couldn't go because he had Bible study. He lost to Josh Emmett, lost to the Korean Zombie, beat Gavin Tucker. This other guy is 15-0 from Russia, who's coming off a win over Hakeem Dawodu, who is a monster. Hakeem, they call him Mean Hakeem. Man, I want the Hawaiian Ige to win, but I think that Mosvar is going to win. Sean.
I'm just thinking it's amazing you got two fighters. One his name is He's Gay, and the other one is Blows You. So like, I don't know what's going on with this matchmaking. Like, who should He's Gay fight? How about that guy Blows You? Like, okay.
So He's Gay versus Blows You. Greg, do we have He's Gay or Blows You?
I mean, honestly, I like the money on this too because for some reason Ige is a plus 320.
Yeah,
and Ovalov is a minus 425. And I just don't think that is representative of who they fought against.
Yeah.
I think Dan's fought much better competition going into this to justify his record. I think, listen, put your money on Ige plus 320. I think he's going to surprise this guy and put the first L on it.
I hope.
Let me warn you guys that as he said that, I decided I was going to put some money on it, so you will lose. Like I was like, if you really have 325, I'm going to put some cash on it, and then I realized that you will lose, but that does sound like a good bet to me. So,
Don, who do we like in this card? In this fight, Ige, blow me.
I'll go with Blows You. You know, I mean, just for the name quality alone, You know, you gotta go with that.
When was the last time you got a blowjob? And don't say my mom, okay? So when was the last time you got a blowjob, Don?
Well, then I have no reply.
I know. You just handed him that.
Because I know he's gonna go. Well, your mother was here a week ago, and she swallowed fucking left her sweater.
See, you're wrong about that. He would have said your wife.
I know.
Come on.
Yeah, I'm looking at this. All right, so
That's why she had 106 temperature.
She was hot. She was really hot.
About to blow a hole in the back of her head.
Christ. All right, so
ruptured a vertebrae at the base of the skull.
Michael Trezano, who he lost to.
Moving on. Michael Trezano.
Trezano's the guy. He won the Ultimate Fighter.
Wow! Did I get blown off?
He wears a cowboy hat. Not only a cowboy hat, a red, white, and blue cowboy hat.
That Carrot Top? It's like Carrot Top from here.
What? Let me see it again. Put it up again.
Yes, it's Carrot Top. Carrot Top is fighting.
Oh, that's a hat. I thought that was his hair. Okay.
Did I tell you when Carrot Top, by the way, was like roiding out of his mind, and people said they went to his show and he would get angry and break all his props?
Yeah.
Like, fucking, that was like the best show I've ever seen.
Well, lucky he had plenty of material to rely on once his props were broken. I'm sure his material was equally as funny.
That was the worst, man. When I was on Last Comic
It
Stand,
only stripped away 2 minutes.
dude, when I was on Last Comic Stand, they fucking took us to Home Depot, and they go, "You're gonna make props with Carrot Top," and we did a comedy show where Carrot Top was the judge, and who could do prop comedy the best. I was like, "Can we just fucking tell some jokes, please?" That's all I want to do. It was a roast battle with Jamie Kennedy, and then we had to read The Girls Next Door, the fucking Playmates at the Bunny Ranch, whatever, children's stories. We did no stand-up comedy. It was like fucking comedy competition.
Sounds like this show should have been titled "Worst Comic Standing" if you had Carrot Top being the judge. Like, what is going on?
It was more like least comic standing.
But it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous. They were, yeah. Anyway, so who else is on this card? So Felice Herrig, who has lost, like I said, she's lost 1, 2, 3. Oh, she's lost 3 in a row. She's fighting Karolina Kowalczyk, who I guess has nice implants. People are saying, I don't know, I haven't seen them, but she's lost 1, 2, 3, 4. She's lost 5 in a row.
I'll go Felice. So Felice and I used to be friends. Like she used to, seemed like she liked me back in the day, like as a friend. I mean, like we used to be friends. And then I saw her at an event one time and she claimed to not know who I was, which I found really odd. She was like, "Who are you again?" And I was like, "Wait, what?" That'd be like if Greg saw me somewhere and didn't know who I was. Like, it's really, Jake Shields does that to me too. I've hung out with Jake Shields 10 times and he introduces himself to me every time I see him. Like, he introduced himself to me. I'm like, dude, how many times have you been hit in the head? Like, not like I'm real easy to forget, you know? Like, I don't know, man.
Oh, by the way,
it should be Felice. I mean, Felice should win this pretty handily, shouldn't she?
Yeah, by the way, that picture of Felice was on an underground thread. So an MMA underground thread. No one sent that to me. Anyway, just for the record.
It was an underground thread titled "Things Bruce Buffer Wouldn't Be Interested In."
Oh, God. This guy, Dan Argueta, who I like this dude a lot. He's 7-0. He was out of control for a while. He basically just fucked up his life, but got it back together. Living in New Mexico. He trains over at Greg Jackson's gym. He's fighting Damon the Leech Jackson, who's 20-4. He's a guy that gets his ass kicked every fight, but somehow wins in these strange, submissions. This should be a good fight. This should be a really good fight. I think that Dan should win this fight. You, Greg?
Maybe.
All right. Okay. Well, that's
why do you go to me on the crap ones? Nobody knows these fucking guys. What are you talking about?
All right. Okay. Let's go.
I think he was describing John Jones from everything I heard. Trains at Jackson's, lives in New Mexico, destroys his life, undefeated. I was like, it sounds like John Jones to me.
All right.
Alonzo Minifield's fighting. Can we talk about him? He's your boy. You love this guy. He keeps he wins one, he loses one. He wins one, he loses one. I don't know what to make of this fucking guy.
Well, these football players, what happens is they got fucking insane power, and they touch you, you go out. But some of these guys don't know how to, they're breathing. pace themselves. They don't know, they're on a foot. They're just sprinting the whole time. They get tired, kind of like with Greg Hardy. And people figure out okay, this guy's not that good on the ground. And that seems like that's what happened with Eric Andrews for a little bit. Then he kind of readjusted himself with this dude and with Greg Hardy, those 3 football players. They have amazing power, but they don't necessarily. They didn't start fighting when they were 3 years old or 5 years old. They didn't wrestle.
Yeah.
So
Same thing happened with Brendan Schaub. They found out he wasn't good on the ground. The only thing he was worse at was standing up.
There it is.
There we
I
go.
think, listen, this guy, I don't know who this Oscar Mazharov is, but listen, if he's a Russian, I can't tell if this is set up to give Minifield a win or set up for this Mazharov guy to come in and make a statement out of the gate. But Russian fighters being as dangerous as they are, I'm scared that this is going to be as much as it should be a Minifield cakewalk. I'm not knowing this guy, but if he's a Russian fighter, it's going to be a scary fight for him.
100%. A couple fights got made this week. June 25th, which is my 5-year anniversary. The 24th, by the way. I keep getting reminded. So a lot of things are going on. Arman Tasrukin against Mazout Gamrot is the main event. People are saying it's the worst, but it's actually a good main event. It's just 2 guys that guy Shavkat Ramanov. He's a guy from China. We were talking about, remember? Or actually, he's from Kazakhstan, but he looks Chinese. He's 15-0. He's a fucking monster. He looks Asian. He doesn't look a little Asian. Well, I mean, I'm wrong on that, Greg. Look,
I'm trying to
Wait,
Let me
that guy's
see.
not Asian?
wait a minute. Move it. There we go. Oh yeah. No, well, listen. Asia and Russia touch, so there's a lot of there's a lot of crossover, especially like in the Mongolian region and stuff like that.
I don't know what the fuck just happened, but he's fighting.
They said they touched Asia. Eastern Russia touched. I said more than once. Yes.
Oh, got it.
Oh, yeah.
Got it. Yeah.
They do in most
Even
videos I
animal
enjoy
steal
online.
that one.
Thank you. So he's fighting Neil Magny. This other guy may have the worst tattoo. This guy Gamrot. His tattoo says "Body Chief" on it. Look at it right here.
Okay.
That reminds me of the mechanic I had that worked for me who had love and hate tattooed on his fingers, but then he lost a finger, so it said love and hat. That was amazing.
There was this girl after a show who was a bigger girl that was like, look at my tattoo. It was deeper on her ass. So when you're behind, she wants guys to go deeper. She had deeper on her ass. Yeah. So on this card though is Nate.
You know how they could do that? Lose some ass. Sounds like the problem is you got too much ass. Fucking keep them out of hitting the spot. That
Could be the problem, or maybe you shouldn't be letting guys put it in your ass. That could be one of the 2 ways to fix it.
Some girls love it in the ass. Some girls, my friend told me.
I'm disappointed. I thought there was a proof buffer joke coming up in a second.
Oh gosh, I feel like I've done too many buffer
You're slipping.
job jokes this week.
This guy I know who's a good friend of mine told me his wife loves it in the ass, all she wants. And every time I go over the place, it's all I can think about now is her taking the ass.
I'm sure that's why he told you that. He was hoping you'd be imaginative.
Yeah.
That's all I can think about is her and she's like a famous celebrity too. All right, so here we go. Also, Nate Mayanis is on this card. He's taking on Umar Nurmagomedov.
Wait. We're taking up the ass now. So I'm going Nate my anus.
Yeah, his nickname is Mayhem.
Did I hear that correctly?
Yeah, his name
Mayhem my anus.
Mayhem my anus. Mayanus is fighting Khabib's brother or cousin, I think, Umar Nurmagomedov. Also, Vanessa.
How many cousins this guy got? Oh my! It seems like every fighter.
It's like he's Mexican or something. Jeez.
I know. Brandon Moreno doesn't have this many fucking cousins.
Also, Vanessa Demopoulos, who's a stripper, and she wrote a book called The Stripper Bible. It's a pop-up book. She's fighting Jin Yu Frye, who is she's like a mechanical engineer or like a bio engineer. She's like a rocket scientist or something fucking insane.
So very similar backgrounds.
Yeah. That's great.
Jinx on that one, McCorkle.
So it's a stripper. It's a stripper versus a rocket scientist.
It sounds like they're both bad at their previous careers. Who says it? You don't have to be a rocket scientist to be a stripper.
So Israel Adesanya.
We get punched in the face.
Exactly.
July 2nd, Israel, which I'll be in Vegas that whole week, fight week. Israel Adesanya doing comedy at the Strat is fighting Jared Cannonier, the Killer Gorilla, who says he fights so much because he's broke. He said that during a press conference in the octagon with Joe Rogan. So he's fighting for the title. So hopefully he'll get some money against Israel Adesanya. Also, Max Holloway is fighting Volkanovski for the third time, I guess. Alex Pereira versus Sean Strickland. Pereira's the guy that has a win over Adesanya, knocked him out in kickboxing. Lauren Murphy, the ex-heroin addict who's killing it right now, doing great. He's fighting Misha Tate. And Sean O'Malley versus Pedro Munoz is on that card. Jessica I versus Macy Barber. Brian Barber.
On paper, this is a very good card.
Jim Miller versus Bobby Green. Robbie Lawler versus Brian Barberena. Jessie Jess is fighting Julia. Remember when Ween Dog went to her for her practice and stood outside?
Yeah. He's like, Jessie Jess said she wanted to meet me. And she's like, who? Who are you?
And then Brad Riddell, who also a really, really good fighter, is fighting Jalen Turner, whose nickname is the Tarantula, because he was scared of tarantulas, and now he has 500 tarantulas in his house, and he breeds them.
That's quite an origin story.
Don, what are you scared of, Don?
Waking up and looking like you one day.
I was going to say someone shaving his mustache off in the middle of the night.
Don, have you ever been scared in your whole life or no?
I'm sure I have. Yeah.
He was like, he was scared to open the bill from his lawyers after his second divorce.
Shit.
That ain't fuck. Thanks a lot, bud.
Shit just got real. Both these guys oh, fuck, that is. You don't want to see that.
Talk about taking off my clothes and getting kicked in the balls.
Oh, man. This is still one of my favorite fights ever, though, is Don Frye versus Tank Abbott. Right here, guys.
It doesn't last long.
You weren't scared of him at all?
No. My brother said, don't go toe to toe with a guy. And I stepped heel. You can see, he caught me not flat footed, but on my heels. And then that's when he hits me. It's just perfect timing. Perfect timing.
There he is.
Boom.
Oh. That was a little bit before high def.
Yeah. That's a copy of a VCR.
He hit you a couple times.
Exactly.
You got to admit they did a really good job adding color to this film, though.
Once Turner got a hold of it, he really made it look fresh.
Right.
Yeah, he ruined everything. Yeah.
Look at this.
We all look like
you guys just wailing on
like
each
we
other.
have hepatitis.
Oh, and you got him. There it goes.
He got out.
When you have it up that close, sometimes it doesn't look like what it is.
No. It's
All you
much
see is
bigger.
a lot of flesh rolling around.
What did he say to you after the fight? Don,
What?
what did Tank say to you after you beat him?
What?
What did Tank say to you after you beat him?
He didn't say a fucking word to me. He didn't say a fucking thing.
Was it, you guys didn't talk afterwards? There was no handshake or nothing?
No, nothing. He walks away.
Yeah.
Huh?
What about Ken Shamrock? What did he say?
I don't know, but I talked to him. I'm the one who did most of the talking after we fought. Because I won. So, when you lose, you really don't have much to say except for fuck you.
Yeah.
I'll hit you at the bar. I'll punch you in the bar when you're not looking.
I know when I beat Mark Hunt and broke his arm, I apologized after the fight. I went up to him and told him, man, I am really sorry. I didn't mean to break your arm. I'm really sorry. He goes, yep. That's all he had to say to me. And I was like, all right, dude, then I'm glad I broke your arm now.
Listen, I don't think I would be real talkative to anybody that just beat my ass either. I think I'd be like, hey, yeah, it seems like when you win, you're like, hey, good. It's always that way after fights too. Like the one guy's on the ground, the other guy's like hugging him and talking to him, being like, hey, you were great, man. And the other guy's like, leave me the fuck alone, dude.
The worst is when someone tries to get the crowd to give you a round of applause and you just got your ass kicked. Like, hey, give this guy a round of applause. He took a beating better than anybody. You're like, no,
yeah. Or he's trying to raise your
for me.
arm. Like, don't raise my arm. Ironically, you fucking dick.
The worst when Luke Rockhold got knocked out by Romero and didn't know where the fuck he was, and Romero tried to kiss him. And you can tell Luke is like, the fuck is going on? Like, now this guy's trying to kiss me? Like, fucking poor guy. Anyway, what do you got coming up, Greg?
Tonight, doing a big show at the Improv with a lot of the big names, like David Spade, and Eliza, and Taylor Thompson, stuff like that. So that's a nice show tonight. And then this Friday night, headlining at Agua Caliente Casino out in Palm Springs. So if you're out that way in the Inland Empire, please come check that out. And also next week, if you're in Los Angeles, I'm teaching my crowd work class at Comedy Boulevard on Tuesday night, June 7th. So if you're in LA, want to take that, that's next Tuesday night. Check out thecomedyinstitute.com. All
right, Sean, what do you got?
Hopefully no trips to the ER or anything like that. I'm actually painting. I finally found a drywall guy and didn't scare him off with maybe not having my pants on. So yeah, I've been doing my painting, trying to save money on redoing my house now. So I realized today while painting that I probably chose the right career path because it's not much fun being a painter in 90-degree heat. So,
Don?
Well, I'm just going to drop names like David Spade and Malaysia and other things like that. And, see if I get a say card to them since I said their name.
Thank you.
There you go.
And I'll be at the Strat in Las Vegas, 27th to the 3rd UFC Fight Week. This Thursday, if you're in Long Beach, I'm at the Laugh Factory in Long Beach, California. Thank you guys so much. Have a great week, guys. Be good.
You guys.